Welcome back. If you're watching these back to back, I guess that's not really welcome back in that way, because I'm releasing games 1 and 2 at the same time, because we happen to have time to play the first 2 games back to back pretty much, and I happen to have time to do videos on them this afternoon too. So anyway, if you're watching this in the future like a normal person, that all made no sense, well, I guess it made sense. It was just irrelevant. Anyway, so naturally we do the swappy swap side this time. So now he's the shadow player and I'm the free people's player. So no Treebeard, no tokens, no cities this time. We're very boring people. We're very serious. Fellowship, okay. He allocates 1 eye. He has a safer and more principled man than myself. Rolls 1 more eye and 4 musters and an H. So we enjoy what our say. Mine say, because we'd just finished the last game, right? So my dice are talking about last game. We'll play. Just saying WP in his. Anyway, turn of all musters. That's hard to complain about on turn 1. That's not bad. I'm quite at peace with mine too. So I play Wizard Staff here. I'm not sure if that's actually the right choice or not. It's it's a gamble either way. If I roll lots of movement and he rolls lots of eyes, then I'm going to be very glad I played Wizard Staff. But if I just roll 1 or 2 movement a turn for the next 3 turns against his 1 or 2 eyes, it can kind of just be stuck being in the way. And I'd really like to kill Gandalf sooner rather than later. So this might be a mistake to play it here. Or it might not. It's hard to say. Anyway, he musters Sauron to war. With the Fellowship, they're safe. Yeah, we had a bit of lag, so sometimes you'll see that where we tried to move an action die 5 times in a row. I move again, gets hit this time, so there goes Wizard Staff. So I'm feeling okay about having played it there. And I use a ring to move again, because, I don't know, I'm just thinking, Saruman's already there, and if I roll Will of the West next turn, I'm going to be really wishing Gandalf was dead, but if I roll just a character and a Will of the West, and there's only 1 eye in there, then it's going to be kind of difficult to kill Gandalf, so... that's why I'm thinking for why I'm moving like that. So he rolls 2 6s and draws an eye. So that is efficient to kill Gandalf, although there's still just as many 3s and 2s out there. So that's not great. I decided to go the Goblin's Gateway just because specifically... Sorry, that was a little bit clogged here. You wanted to know that for sure. Since an eye just came out and Gandalf is gone... Now, if I reveal in Moria, it's more likely that he's going to draw something, like a 3 or a 2 that actually hurts, and then I'm stuck taking a random, and then I got to hide and try to move again, and then I'm, more likely again to get hit and not have an eye pulled for that free extra tile. So, I don't know, just revealing into Moria when losing Gandalf to an eye just felt like a dangerous corruption path to go down anyway. So here I am in Goblin's Gate. Again, maybe a mistake, I don't know. I guess mistake is a little bit harsh. There's a lot of choices in this game where it's it's reasonable either way. Either way is there's situations in the future where your choice may have been a reasonable choice. So I think either way would have been reasonable anyway. Okay, so turn 2, he puts 1 eye in, rolls 1 more, and I roll very pleasantly a Will of the West. So turn 2, Gandalf the White always feels great. It's been quite a while since I got that, actually. And yeah, there's his slash face, because it feels bad playing against Gandalf the White turn 2. So he moves some Nazgul around to get rerolls on me and bring an extra 1 to Dol Guldur. I pass because there's no need to rush moving. There's also no need to rush Gandalf the White. There's no need to rush my H use now. So he mustered the Southrons to war, so now there's a need to rush Gandalf, because obviously I'd rather he doesn't play Day Without Dawn and take it away. He probably doesn't have it. Yeah, no, he doesn't. But you never know. He might. There's no need to risk it. So, okay, so he moves the armies out from Mordor and towards Lorien. I was really hoping that this army was going to come up to the Dew line, not going to lie, because then I was going to be able to move this guy in the way and scouts into Woodland Realm and play 3 Andwheel's archers. That's 2 really good tools for defending Woodland Realm early on. Yeah, along come the armies, and the Fellowship moves, and they're hit, which is a bummer. But it's a 1, which is probably, if I was gonna get hit, I think that's the tile I would pick to get hit by. Maybe an eye for 1 R. Yeah, one of those 2 anyway. Okay, so then he plays Rage of the Dunlendings, moves some troops up to Moria. I use a ring to move again here, which might be overkill. But I was kind of just thinking, like, he invested a die in putting rerolls on me, and this way I'm getting away from the rerolls, So anyway, so I move again, and I'm safe this time. So I guess like I was slightly less likely to get hit the first time, and I was more likely to get hit this time. So it's about fair overall. And then he uses a ring to move Nazgul again and put a reroll on me again. So I guess it's kind of just tomato, tomato, Bob the tomato. And he puts them like that. So here's a bit of a mistake from him. I guess he just forgot that I could declare into Carrick too, which is a sad mistake to make anyway. Like sometimes you just miss stuff. So I declare there, and yeah, now he remembers, of course. Yeah. So he puts in 2 eyes this time and rolls 2 more, and I roll 3 movements. So I don't really want to move 3 times against 4 eyes, especially because like I have a bit of time. The military isn't flying, and corruption is like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps to go, and then I'll have Mordor to get through. So I'm in good shape so far, corruption wise, but there's still a long way to go. So I do move once anyway before he can put any rerolls on me, and I get hit anyway, and it's a 3. So I take a random, and it's Legolas. That's fine. He moves towards, Lorien and Woodland Realm. I play Thranduil's Archers because I might as well, like he's pretty committed to coming up this way anyway. I could muster the elves down towards Boar. Maybe that would have been better. I was a little worried about letting him have the Witch King too easily this turn, though. I guess that's why I didn't. So he moves towards the dew line. I put that regular in the way. And because the Southrons were at war, he could have, in theory, used a ring to attack the guy in the Iron Hills there. And I wanted to save my scouts for getting a guy into Woodland Realm. So that's why I move him right now. He moves closer again. I really thought about moving here. I ended up playing I Will Go Alone and putting a Hobbit in Erebor because that's the strongest of them. And Dane's still out there, so it might get stronger. And, I have Brave Stand and... just a Brave Stand, I guess, to use for cards. But you never know. I might pick up Book of Mazarbel later on. It makes Daring Defiances work to make Sudden Strikes better. So anyway, he thinks... What does he do? Oh, yeah, he uses the other ring to move Nazgul for leader rerolls again. Oh, no, that's right. He thought about changing it, but didn't. I thought about moving here again. I don't know. It just felt like I had time and that I didn't want to rush it, especially because if I moved and got revealed here, then I'm sitting on 2 rerolls. Whereas if I stay, then I'm in the settlement too. So then there's cards that he can't play, which he doesn't have any of right now. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so on to the next turn. I pick up Dead Men and Paths of the Woses. I think I check Paths of the Woses here. He picks up Balrog and Monsters Roused. I check Paths of the Woses. I missed what he checked. Did he have Devilry of Orthanc before? I meant to say Threats and Promises. Anyway, I don't know what he checked. Fellowship stays in Carrick because, again, it's a settlement. So he puts 2 eyes in and rolls 2 more, and I roll this roll, which is a pretty wild one. So I think so obviously he might have Day Without Dawn, which would be a bummer for me. We know he doesn't. I didn't know that at the time, though. So I move, at least once. And I get hit, which is a bummer. And it's an eye. So I reveal there. And now we remember the reroll, and he missed with it anyway. So, yeah. So he musters up more in North Rune. I hide with the Fellowship, and he attacks Old Forest Road, no card. I plunk down my scouts and escape to Woodland Realm. So I'm happy that I did get my dream of the 2/2/1 Woodland Realm, which is pretty good. So I use a Will of the West to separate Strider here. Presumably, character die moves him down, then Will of the West to crown him. I honestly still don't know if this was the right choice or not. Because, on one hand, I could just, keep moving and let him die as part of the meat shield, to help protect the Fellowship as they sprint. But at the same time, it feels really good being on 6 dice. And, I have Dead Men of Dunharrow in hand and Grey Company. So, that's some cool stuff I can do with him. And I don't really want to move more against 4 eyes right now anyway. And then I can kill companions efficiently down to Gollum. So I usually don't come into a game thinking, okay, I'm going to separate Strider, but it's a valid option to keep your mind out for anyway. Yeah, he mentions he was seriously considering it last game too. Okay, so now he attacks Dale, and I'm kind of wishing I'd saved my scouts for this one, so I get the leader too. But, oh well. So advantageous position against Desperate Battle. He just rolls a 6 anyway, though, and I do not roll hit back. So now the North is at war, and he can't get the Witch King. Aragorn makes it to Minas Tirith. Comes the Witch King to Dale, and Aragorn is crowned. So it does feel cool having Aragorn. So I know I can threaten dead men. Hopefully I can draw into Challenge of the King. That's another way you can help the Fellowship, and just having a 6th die feels really good. Like you could just do a lot more defending yourself, and more likely to move the Fellowship too. But I think the extra die is actually not as good for Fellowship movement compared to having Strider as a guide. But Aragorn is a much safer investment though, because he's less likely to get hit by Foul Thing, or you don't have to be scared to take a random. So anyway, it's an interesting combination. They did a really good job of giving you choices of how to spend your resources in this game. I think that's one thing that's brilliant. I like to make my own games sometimes. That's something I've taken from this game that I like to put into games I make. Just the question of you have these resources, but they can be spent in different ways. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. Okay, so he puts in 2 eyes, rolls no more, and a bunch of Palantirs, and I roll 3 movement, 2 musters, and a Palantir. So that's it's a pretty good roll for me. Anyway, he has the 2 rerolls, so I'm still not feeling that safe about moving, but gotta move sooner or later, right? And I'm safe for the first time in a little bit anyway, so that's nice. So he plays Black Captain, thinks about it, thinks about moving instead, ends up going with his original plan of attacking Woodland Realm with the Black Captain. So the downside to that is that since I just got Book of Mizarble, now I can play that. Now I can muster an Erebor. It's pretty unlucky for him that I had it. So I don't know if there was a better way for him to play it. Let's see. He had a couple attacks here. Maybe he should have just slow played it. But then again, he also has to be worried about me mustering the elves, right? So trying to pressure both of these points too is also a concern. So yeah, it's just difficult. Then he brings out troops. Right, I remember this now. He walked the orc here so that he could play Shadow Lengthens. I remember not understanding it. No, that's I did guess that he might be playing Shadow Lengthens. I thought he also might just be protecting Dale from this army walking in so that the North could muster more. That was my other thought of what he might be doing anyway. So I muster more in Erebor. He does do Shadow Lengthens and brings in both those southern armies and conquers that settlement along the way. I move the Fellowship again, and they get hit. And it's a 2R, so bye-bye, Boromir. Out comes Lure of the Ring, and it gets Gimli. So, yeah, this is the other downside to Coronic Strider is now I'm 2 movements away from Mordor, and I'm at net -1 corruption. Net 1 corruption. So that doesn't feel great. Now he attacks Erebor, and I do go into a siege. So I could have maybe stayed and tried to fight. I had a Sudden Strike, Shield Wall, a Brave Stand. It might have worked, but I really want to keep Dead Men. You have Aragorn sitting in Rohan. Hang on to this card. Don't just use it as a Sudden Strike unless unless it's going to really make you probably kill the Witch King. But anyway. Right, so this was the other part of my plan for moving the Fellowship there and waiting and hoping he attacks Erebor is now I can muster the Elves twice, and I can muster Indolorian at the start of next turn. It's just a really unfortunate time for him to roll a turn with so few attacks. Just between Book of Mizarble and me being on 6 dice just allowed me to shore up my defenses a bit more this turn. And then I draw into Celeborn's Galadriel. So that's just perfect. With the first, Free Peoples gets to go first. So I get to muster 1 elite and Lorien, then he'll probably besiege me, and then I play Celeborn, and then I'm up to a 5-unit stronghold in there. That's just, that's very frustrating stuff for the Shadow player anyway. I think I chucked Grey Company here, which is a bummer, but I just like the rest of these cards even more. Daring Defiance is so good with this Hobbit here in Erebor. Deadman is powerful. Shield Wall, there's another way in the blue tile are all really important. And I also don't really want to pick up a ton of cards right now. So that's why I think I end up chucking Grey Company. Yeah, I do. Okay, so 1 eye, 2 more rolled, and I get the musters and 2 character movement. So I muster in Lorien, he besieges, and I play Celeborn. I didn't really have to do that right away, but at the same time, I was worried he might have Ringwraither abroad, I guess, and pivot down here and blow it up in one shot before I can play it. So I'd rather just play it, and I also get to cycle more cards and hopefully get down to Dane this way. Oh yeah, and then this happens. Then he plays Dreadful Spells on Woodland Realm and rolls 4 hits with it out of 4 dice. That's just... Hey Bob, remember how you were feeling good about how you got to play Thranduil and Scouts into there? Guess what? It's gone. Bye. Oh man, because especially like these 2 armies were not that strong. So, and my defenses were pretty good. So I think if Woodland Realm had held out and weakened its army more, Erebor would be feeling a lot stronger. But because this army is going to roll over Woodland Realm now, taking almost no damage, now it's all this reinforcements to come and take out Erebor. So that just like that was actually a really big deal. Okay, so I hide the Fellowship. He attacks Woodland Realm. Plays Grond here. I was surprised by that, but I guess he's just cycling because he wanted to get to Cruel Weather or something to reveal me anyway. That is the other downside to separating Striders, that now like Nazgul Search is a lot more of a pain. Like it's not just you have to spend a useless Palantir to hide again. You need an actual character to do that now. So. And he rolls 2 6s and finishes it off, and I don't get any hits back. So yeah, that 2/2/1 Stronghold literally died without punching back one single regular. So that felt bad. And I move against 3 dice. I get hit, and it's a 0 reveal, which was so frustrating because, yeah, out of all these tiles, the 1 reveals would kill Mary and allow me to bring in Gollum's ability. So the 2 0 reveals and the 2 eyes in there were the only tiles that would reveal me and stop me from getting to Mordor this turn, because I could use a ring to move again, right? But because that revealed me, and I don't have the option to kill Mary here, now I can't get to Mordor this turn. So just very frustrating stuff. That being said, he could have played a Isildur's Bane, even if I had run into something else. But I guess if I'd already killed the Hobbit, then these wouldn't have revealed me. So never mind, that wouldn't have helped. Okay, so Shadows on the Misty Mountains. And then I move troops along. Yeah, so Aragorn's making his way to Helm's Deep. And kind of just because I have 2 more army movements to do, I'm doing the bring a regular from Osgiliath to Pelargir, and then these other 2 regulars go to Dol Amroth and to top it up to 5 units anyway. Okay, so he moves out most of the army to Dale and to Dimril Dale. Aragorn finishes getting to Helm's Deep. The 2 regulars are almost to Dol Amroth. Right, and the Witch King army makes it to Erebor. This would feel a whole lot better if I was starting in Mordor this turn. Yeah, anyway, so 1 eye in, no more rolled, which is really bad news for me. But at least 2 movement should be enough anyway. So he plays the Isildur's Bane here, though, and gets the 1 reveal. So that's frustrating because, yeah, I'm not allowed to take the Hobbit as corruption. I tried to at first, and then I remember that Isildur's is a thing. So yeah, now I get revealed by that standard revealing tile, too, and now I have to use a ring to try to get in this turn. And of course, he might still draw into Cruel Weather and then stops me again. So, yeah. Okay. So he draws... I'm interested that he drew a character card and then gave up on that plan. I would have kept on drawing character cards and hoped for Cruel Weather. Or, hope for a character card that I could attack Erebor with and cycle to keep trying for Cruel Weather. Because especially when I have to use a ring to just move once against 1 die, and I don't have a token, so I can't guarantee I go last. Like, getting Cruel Weather would almost guarantee... Like, if I get hit, I can almost definitely reveal. Because... Actually, it's just the ones that I wouldn't be able to reveal to. Actually, no, even the 1 reveal I could reveal to. I could just choose not to kill Mary. It's just this 1. That would be the only tile where I could not choose to reveal. Because the eyes reveal me. The 1 and 0 reveal. If I don't take Mary, they reveal me. The 3, 3, 2, 2, I could all take Mary and then reveal with. So if I had gotten hit, anything but this 1, anyway, I could reveal to and thus dodge Cruel Weather. So, but anyway, he draws a strategy card because I guess he also just wants like a card to fight with. And I guess he was worried he was going to keep drawing character cards that were useless. So. Right, so now that he drew a strategy card, I was worried he picked up Corsair, so I finished moving those 2 regulars into Dol Amroth and this elite to Edinmoors because I don't know what else to do. So he attacks Erebor and plays a strategy card. I see a strategy card and slap down Daring Defiance, so against the weak come to kill, that's okay. I'm glad I got rid of it. It would have been more fun to cancel a Deadly Strike. But. So anyway, he rolls 2 6s, and I roll no hits back. So that's a depressing start for sure to this glorious Erebor that I got set up. He comes after Erebor again with another strategy card. Desperate Battle against Brave Stand. He gets 0 hits, so that's bad luck for him for sure, and I get 3. So tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Muster Gondor down. He chucks in a red tile. Finish mustering Gondor down. Because I see now he has no rings and no army dice or Palantir. So now I know he can't play Corsairs this turn. So now I muster Gondor down to war. He chucks in the other red tile. He used the ring to move again. And I'm safe. And I remember there was a lag pause here, and I was just like, I was so sure he was going to play Cruel Weather. But then he attacked Erebor with that ring. So Deadly Strife against Shield Wall. He gets 4 hits, -1. I get 5 hits back. But honestly, that's fine. He has so much backup. Like, that's still a good deal for him overall, I think. And now he picks up Cruel Weather. Oh, just typical. Yeah. So Fellowship is off to Mordor. It's not a very wonderful hunt pool. Like, there's a decent amount of regular tiles, but there's, the 4 eyes and the 2 red tiles in there and no blue tiles. So, anyway, so 1 eye in, another one rolled, and I get this beautiful roll of 1 Palantir and 4 movement. Like, that's just great. I'm going to chuck in a blue tile, and I'm going to run. That's my plan. He brings the reinforcements to Erebor and to Lorien. Fellowship moves, and it's an eye. So I remember thinking to myself, at first I was like, I'd really like a 1, so I could neatly get down to Gollum, and I can stop worrying about candles. But an eye here is actually pretty good, too, because it's one of the tiles that does reveal me. Even when Gollum is out there, and it's only doing 2 damage right now. So that's not so bad, really. So Gollum comes out, we're revealed. He attacks Erebor. Yeah, there's a Cruel Weather against another Brave Stand. He gets 1 hit. I get also 1 hit. He presses. Plays an Onslaught here. But he just rolls 2 6s, so we don't need to worry about that. He gets 1 hit. Fellowship hides. He plays Ring Racer Abroad. Yeah, gets to pivot down to Lorien, gets a couple Nazgul and Orthanc, just thinking about Helm's Deep, I guess. I don't have any cards that really make sense here. Like, I could play Amber for the Valor, but especially since he's threatening Helm's Deep now, keeping it to make Aragorn's army even stronger here seems pretty good to me. Deadman I want to keep. There's another way I want to keep. So yeah. So he plays Balrog and gets 2 hits with it. So that's pretty good. And then he rolls 3 6s. But then I roll 5 hits back. So yeah. Overall, in that 1 round of combat, we both took 5 hits because he got 2 from the Balrog and then 3 from the roll, and then I rolled 5 on the hit too. So yeah, overall, like I say in the comments, still a win for the Shadow, but the Free People's rolling 5 hits back still is depressing for the Shadow for sure. He plays Phlox, gets 1 hit. I get also 1 hit. Everyone's just calming down a little bit after the excitement of the first round. So I move again because I'm a little scared about Corsairs. Like, if he finishes Lorien and gets Corsairs, then that's 9 points. So I need this Polar Gear. So I move and I hit a 0. So that's very nice. Very nice for sure. He draws a card. I move again, and it's the other 0. There were only 2 zeros in there. I remember jokingly thinking to myself, the perfect result would be just something to kill down to Gollum and then both the zeros. Like, the odds of that are just insane. Like, that was super lucky. Like, starting Mordor, corruption was going to be close, and now it's just, I'm on step 3 and I only have 4 corruption and I still have There Is Another Way in hand. Like, what is that, man? I'd be so annoyed if I was a Shadow player. The kind of thing I've lost frustratingly enough times that when I win by a way that I know is frustrating, I don't even feel good anymore because I know somewhere out there someone else is getting frustrated the way that I have before. Maybe he's just better at keeping his cool, but you know what I mean. So he attacks Lorien again. I guess he's playing Orc Patrol. Yeah, because I guess he's given up on corrupting me now and is just hoping I don't roll a lot of movement and he can win next turn. So he gets 1 hit. I get also 1 hit. He presses. Yes, he plays Great Host here. Yeah, Great Host. And he gets 1 hit, and I get 2 hits back. So, like if he hadn't rolled a 6, this would have been great for me because then Great Host wouldn't trigger. But because I get 2 hits and he got 1 hit, then he has 2 regulars to my 1 regular, and Great Host still triggers. So, that's very well played. So then I go ahead and play Aimer here because I don't really know. Like maybe I was debating maybe mustering in Dol Amroth instead. Um, yeah, I don't know. That would have also been a reasonable choice. So then he thinks about moving out, plays New Powers Rising instead, which I think makes sense. Oh yeah. Here's where he hatches his plan that you'll see next time. 1 second. Okay. On to the next turn. So I'm feeling very good about this at this point. Like I have 6 dice, no rings, but there's another way in hand as well. I just need 2 movement, maybe a third or even a fourth if I'm going to run into an eye and maybe a red tile, and then I can do it. So he puts in 1 eye and he rolls a couple more eyes, and I roll this roll. So Will of the West, I can move with that, and then I can play There Is Another Way. So I lead with the Will of the West because out of this hunt pool, the red and the eyes will stop me from winning this turn. But anything else, I could still win this turn with There's Another Way. So I like, to be fair, that's only 6 out of 11, so it's only slightly over 50% odds that I can win this turn. But at the same time, I'd rather move instead of losing it to Day Without Dawn. So I move and it's an eye. So I was really really upset at that point because like especially when the game goes from feeling like oh yeah I'm probably going to win to oh no I'm probably going to lose. That's a bad feeling. That's a really bad feeling. So he thinks about coming out, but he does this instead. He does Shadows Gather, and he moves that big pile of elites out to North Dunland. So he's coming after Rivendell. And here, I think for quite a while about what to do, because I think to myself, oh, I better start mustering elves to defend Rivendell, but there's only 1 to muster. So I don't need to muster that right now. If there were 3 elves to muster, then I'd better start mustering right now, but there's only 1. So instead, I think about it and I realize he really wants to be able to just walk up to Pelargir and walk up to Rivendell at the same time. So I spend my hybrid die here walking the regular from Osgiliath down to West Horondor, especially because I only have 1 hybrid die and I don't have any rings. So there's no way that this Dol Amroth army or this Minas Tirith army can make it to Pelargir to fight for it. So I'm just stalling him, hoping that he just doesn't have enough dice to finish off his plan here. Because after he attacks West Horondor, then I can muster in Pelargir too. So now it's costing him a full 2 dice, and then he'll have 4 dice left. So he go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if he has, I think there's 2 cards out there that would mean he could still win. There's the Shadow is moving, so which would mean he could do a movement with this Palantir, or there's Fighting Uruk-hai. So if he had Fighting Uruk-hai, then he could get to Rivendell and play it. But he didn't have either of those cards, as I can see here. But I didn't know that at the time. At the time, I was kind of just hoping that he didn't have either of those cards anyway. And also, of course, with Dead Men Have Done Harrow in hand, I'm holding on to this Palantir because that might be the saving grace I need here. Because also, I guess that forces him to use another attack too. No, wait, if he saves Pelargir until it being the last attack, then he might be able to pull that off. So I think at that point, if he did wait for the last attack, I was going to spend all 3 of these musters putting Gondor elites in Pelargir and then play Dead Men Have Done Harrow anyway, just to summon the 3 regulars and have Aragorn. So it would be 3 elites and 3 regulars and Aragorn against this army. Anyway, so he'd probably still win. Maybe not, though, because I would have the leadership edge. Anyway, that's what I would have done anyway. But I move, and then he... Yeah, so he attacked West Horondor, no card. He gets 1 hit. Towards the end of the game in the chat, he hadn't thought of me moving to West Horondor when he did the Shadows Gather plan, but he realized, we were talking about this afterwards anyway, that there probably wasn't too much better of a plan to do anyway. I think I might have gone the Orthanc army to Edoras and this army to Minas Tirith. That being said, I could still, I could still muster Minas Tirith and make it tough, but I think that's, it's a slight chance anyway. Still probably wouldn't have worked anyway. So anyway, muster in Pelargir. He plays The Ring Is Mine. That's, a red tile in there always helps. Especially since I'm this fragile now. Like if next turn I move again and it's 3 eyes and I hit the red eye and bounce back, then I'm almost dead, or the red 3 and bounce back. That doesn't help. Anyway, okay, so he attacks Pelargir, no card, no card. I retreat to Laemden. I muster up more in Laemden / Dol Amroth. He moves towards Rivendell. I muster up in Rivendell. He finishes moving towards Rivendell. I play There's Another Way here, just in case he draws another red tile. That this way I can move right at the start of next turn without giving him time to do that or play Lidless Eye or something, So I heal 1 and I hide. So he attacks Rivendell, and we go into next turn. So I pick up Imrahil, which I'm happy to see, and he gets Threats and Promises and Wormtongue. I jokingly say, watch me roll 0 movement. And then I roll 5 movement. So, yeah. And he rolls only 1 eye, so it's looking good for me for sure. I decide to move right away, again, just in case he has another red tile or Lidless Eye or something. So I move, and it's a 1 reveal. So that's GG. And so I've won the 2 games, and then I get to go on to the next round now. Some frustrating luck for him for sure. Just some poor action dice at the wrong time. A very pleasant Mordor track for me. Let's see, it was an eye that did 2 damage, 0/0, eye that did 3, 1 reveal. So just, yeah, not cruel stuff at all. There was 2 red tiles in there the whole time, and then a 3rd one for this last time. So I think me not running into any of them, and it's not like I had Mithril Coat Instinct to dodge them either. So that's pretty lucky for me for sure. Yeah. So we play out the battle in Rivendell anyway, just in case he had enough attacks to pull it off. I won't bother clicking through it anyway, or maybe I will, just like rapid speed. He rolled some 6s. I didn't roll very much. He rolled another 6. I rolled a couple hits. He rolled 2 more 6s. That helps. So yeah, he would have gotten Rivendell. Like if he'd had. Yeah, I think he literally only needed 1 more attack to have maybe made that work, right? Oh, no, I guess 2, maybe 2. No, like if he had left Pelargir to the end, then he would have only needed that 1 last Palantir to be an attack, or like one of those eyes he rolled to be an attack, and then he could have won last turn. Unless, of course, but of course, if he'd rushed ahead to Pelargir anyway, then I would have been able to play Deadman and boot him off of it. But if he had saved it to last, then he would have had to fight the 3 elites and 3 regulars in Aragorn army, and he probably would have won. Because let's see, that's 3, 5. So he'd have a 3 hit point advantage, but I'd have 2 leadership and the defensive advantage and a Captain of the West ability for when I get down to 4 regulars. So who knows? Maybe I would have won that, actually. I don't know. It's hard to say. I also had a shield wall. I didn't have that at the time, actually. No. I had a confusion I could have played, though, that I just put out in the Rivendell battle. So anyway, very tense stuff. Yeah, it feels bad for him because I like he made a couple mistakes. I think he still played really well on the whole, though. Coming into it, I was certainly like I felt like I very well might lose these ones. Yeah, in past videos, I said I just had a bad feeling like I was going to win in the first 2 rounds. I honestly thought I was going to lose this match for whatever reasons. I don't know. I'm just wrong. Let's take a look at the statistics. So, okay, so these are the wrong way around. 162 dice, that's obviously Shadow. So +2 on 6s, -2 on 5s, though. -3 overall for hits for me. Movement was net +1, so that's okay. +3 on musters isn't great. -3 overall on attacks for him, though. So that's yep, just 1 more attack last turn. He might have won. So, yeah. Anyway, those were my games for this round of the tournament. I think the next person I play was the winner of Tigra versus maybe Hakuna Matata. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.